Hello and welcome to Are You Who? This is a reasonably well done sci-fi watchcast hosted by two chaos gremlins who have hijacked the network this week. I'm Victor,
I'm Beth.
and we have got no adult supervision. We are taking over this podcast.
The adults are gone. Time to light fire to everything.
You may know Beth from such amazing podcasts such as Cool Girls Don't Look at Explosions, the best podcast on the internet hosted by cool girls that are in fact cool. We have
Very unhinged. So
awesome. This week we are going to be continuing our Doctor Who watchcast. Beth, have you ever seen Doctor Who before?
oh yes, I in fact have dug my giant cardboard cutout of Captain Jack Harkness out of storage for this very moment.
Have you now? Oh my God, that is a sexy cardboard cutout.
That's him.
Is Captain Jack wearing a Burger King hat?
He is. Anyone who's ever slept over at my house has in fact been scared to death by him. Maybe by design. I will not reveal my secrets.
Oh, what do you plan him like a trap?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I wait for the and then I have a TARDIS mug as well.
Oh, sweet, that's a cute mug.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember I was a big fan of the OG Doctor Who back when I was a little kid and too young to understand half of the British dry humor, but I was kind of raised on British dry humor. Like, I was a big fan of Red Dwarf, and I think the only Doctor I knew when I was younger was the famous Tom. Was it Tom Baker? Was the one?
Yes.
With the jelly bellies and the scarf.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was the one I knew the most. Oh man, memory lane. Well, speaking of memory lane, before we get started, I have got a fun little game that I have prepared for you, Beth.
Okay.
For you specifically.
Oh no!
And this is yeah. Get that anxiety flowing. This is a 100% original game that I have stolen from another podcast. This is called
Perfect, beautiful.
This is called Quick Fire Questions. Now, the only rule for this game is you're not allowed to think. Do you think you can handle that, Beth?
Let me think about it.
Yeah. So I'm going to fire off a bunch of questions, and you just have to spit out the first thing that comes to your mind. You're no thinking aloud.
Okay.
Thinking is cheating. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give you to the count of three. 3. Which Disney character would you like to back you up in a street fight?
Mulan.
Next question. What TV or movie Muppet would you want as a roommate?
Animal.
Name your favorite fictional food or drink from a movie or TV series. Thinking too much.
Duff beer.
Duff beer. Yes. In general, what trait would you like to ask for from the Wizard of Oz?
Chillness.
Name a snack food that would make a great name for an 80s new wave band.
Takis.
What sci-fi or fantasy TV series would you like to see turned into a hole at your local miniature golf course?
Battlestar Galactica.
That's a good one. What's your favorite evil fictional corporation from film or TV?
Umbrella Corps.
Name a city with a weird name.
Yep, Ypsilanti. We also have a dick water tower.
Is that a...
We are, seriously, look up the Ypsilanti water tower.
Ypsilanti water tower?
Yeah, it's shaped like a penis.
Nice. Aren't all water towers like... Well...
No, this one's
This one is...
famously...
extra phallic.
This one is like, oh shit, that's a dick. Like...
Nice. Oh shit, that's a dick. What's your favorite way that Sean Bean has died in a movie or TV show?
Oh, arrows, bro.
Lord of the Rings. Pincushion?
Yeah.
What is your favorite one-hit wonder from the 90s?
Barbie girl.
Oh. If you had a team of professional costumers and an unlimited budget, what cosplay would you wear to Comic-Con?
Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke? Name 2 deceased musicians that you'd want to spend the day at an amusement park with.
Jim Morrison and Prince.
Oh, nice.
Mostly, I just want to see them interact, I think.
Name something that smells exactly like it looks.
Cotton candy.
That's very PG or G rated. I was not expecting. Good job. Okay, finally, what condiment could you not live without for the rest of your life?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce? Wow.
Hot sauce.
I was expecting your Midwest to come out and say ranch because that's totally mine.
We have a whole hot sauce shelf because when we moved in together, like everybody's hot sauce came with, and so like we just have a shelf in the fridge.
Well, that was our game. Let me tally up the points, and I forgot to keep score. Oh, well. You won!
I won!
We'll just say you won. We win. Everyone wins. And with that, that is the last time anyone is going to win anything, because this episode, spoiler alert, everyone loses.
Yeah, this is except for arguably Martha. No, she still loses.
No, she loses. Everyone loses. Yeah.
Everyone loses.
And, in case we haven't mentioned it already, today we are doing Doctor Who of the renewed season 3, but it's technically like season 65 or something. Let me see.
Yeah. Although, in truth, my first Doctor was the 9th Doctor. It was Stephen Eccleston. Yeah. Because I was like a teenager. I was, I think, I don't know, maybe a freshman in high school, maybe in middle school.
Oh, wow.
I think when I saw the
first, it was like 2003, 2004 when the Doctor Who reboot came about.
So 7th or 8th grade, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Did you ever see the 1996 Doctor Who movie? It was a direct-to-TV movie.
No.
It's hard to find. I got a copy off of eBay a few years back, and it turned out it was a bootleg rip from the thing, because it had it had that obvious like sticker on a DVD-R on it when it came in the mail, but it was a good quality. It was a good quality rip, but it was really good. Like, it was a surprisingly good movie, and it's crazy because now we're familiar with this new modern era of Doctor Who, but in that movie, in the 1996 movie, that apparently divided a lot of the Whovian fandom back then. Because it was the first time the Doctor ever had a romantic interaction with his companion. Like, prior to that, he was kind of like, asexual, oblivious almost. Isn't that right, Daisy? Thank you.
Yes.
Listeners at home can't see, but my dog is just assaulting the camera right now. She is just a baby, but she's massive. Anyway.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
But it's funny because they just ripped that Band-Aid right off. Like, if I'm remembering correctly, in that movie, the Doctor... Well, first off, they pulled a Newt and Hicks with the previous Doctor and didn't even give him a proper send-off. He just got shot for no reason, died, and regenerated. Yeah, I'm surprised they even bothered to bring the actor in. I think it was Sylvester McCoy was the 7th Doctor at the time, and then they bring in he got shot within like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Jesus.
And then he regenerates. And then when he meets his companion, they just ripped that Band-Aid right off. He just grabbed her and kissed her right there. It was like, wow, okay.
The way that Captain Jack Harkness wishes David Tennant
would do to him.
Just, do to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all wish David Tennant would do that to us, though. So.
Oh, we fucking do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm now hold your dick pics out there, audience. I am straight, but I'm just saying nobody is that straight. Okay, he's a beautiful man. So.
He's a beautiful man, and he's Scottish, and he's weird. Like, come on, the trifecta.
Speaking of trifectas, we open in Media Vortex with our trifecta of Doctor Who crew come right through a portal right into downtown London.
Because this is part 2 of a 3-parter.
Which they have a brief flashback to the previous episode, and it looked like they were being swarmed by zombies.
It's pretty wild. It's like it's set in the year 3 trillion.
Oh, okay.
Because Jafar was watching it, and I was being a smart ass next to him. But yeah, it's in the year 3 trillion. Everything's a mess, and people are getting eaten.
You know, there is a really good YouTube channel I think it's called Isaac Arthur. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong about that, but it's he's a big science man, and he talks about smart stuff, and I like to brag about how I watch it and understand like maybe 30% of what he's talking about. But one of my favorite specials I did was called Civilizations at the End of Time. And it's about what the year, 3 trillion or even beyond that could possibly be like if humans or some other intelligent civilization could even possibly survive till that long. And let me say, it is metal as fuck. Like, quite literally, because there's a theory if... Now, the science people in the audience, I'm sure they're going to hit me up on the Discord and point out everything I'm saying wrong. But if the theory is if protons don't decay, then at the end of time, all the stars in the universe are going to turn into giant balls of iron. Man, that's cool as fuck, dude. Just big-ass, literally metal balls just hanging out in space. Like, that's crazy to think about. That's the end of our universe. Big ass metal balls. That's it.
Big ass metal balls. Speaking of big ass metal balls, our trifecta flies into a big ass metal trash can with truly the prettiest colored graffiti.
Everything in London looks so clean.
I know. And there are Saxon is our man signs everywhere on the wall.
Yeah, that's when they realized that the voting public has elected a madman. And,
yes.
We've learned that, people don't always vote in their best interests. Apparently just not just in our local play in the U.S., but apparently over across the pond as well, over in the Great British Empire. The master then taunts the doctor. Says, what this country really needs is a doctor. I'm not doing that accent right, am I? That was...
I mean, it was close. It was only like 75% cringe. So I feel like that's pretty good.
Well, what's crazy is last year I took one of those DNA tests, and I don't have one majority of anything. My highest percentage of anything is I have 29% indigenous Mexican. And then the next highest percentage of anything is some 20% Scottish. And I think that's cool as shit. I'm not sure what to do with that info. I want to I know barely shit about Scottish culture, but I want to learn now.
It's pretty fucking metal.
I want to wear a kilt and get angry and throw trees, because that's all I know. They drink and they throw trees. Is that right?
Yes.
Like, I'm asking you because you probably know more about Midnight.
Just because I'm pale does not mean...
that's what you guys do on the weekends, right? You drink pints and you throw trees in your backyard. I'm just guessing that's what you
Actually, I really it's called the caber toss, and I do in fact really want to do that. So I am in fact
nailed it.
I am in fact working with a friend of mine to come up with the lifting to be able to do that. But no, I'm like half Maltese and half whatever my dad is, pasty white guy.
Pasty white, yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's my father's side of the family as well as the pasty white guy. Anyway, so what happens next? So then we go to the opening credits.
Well, before that though. So Martha, Jack, and Baby Girl, the 10th Doctor, is Baby Girl. I will not be taking any arguments on this point. So they are sitting down. They're watching they're realizing that the Master is the Prime Minister, and the Doctor kind of zeroes in on this unhoused man tapping out this thing. It's like tap 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 tap, pause, tap 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 tap, pause.
Now before I forget, I looked up the trivia for this.
Yes.
And the writer Russell T Davies. Apparently most fans, including myself, thought that the tap 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 was supposed to be the opening to the Doctor Who theme. But apparently it's not. Apparently he was inspired by the typical alarm clock alarm that we get, when it goes off in the morning. Beep, 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 beep. Apparently that's what it's supposed to be. And
see, and I was thinking it was like 4 on the floor. It was just like, ba, 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 like your like typical drum beat, like, because... Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's apparently it's that. Like, who decided that annoying ass beep was going to be the standard thing for all alarm clocks? Like this, I'm curious about that. Does anyone have a copyright claim on that annoying beep pattern?
Discord, do your thing.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Smart people.
Yeah.
But yes. they discuss someone named the Master, who's apparently also a Time Lord and has regenerated, and they're looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Doctor says he'll know who the Master is when he sees him because Time Lords just know when they're in the presence of another Time Lord, kind of how, like, nerds always can sense another nerd, or how I know when cheese is near.
Did you say I know when cheese is near?
Yes.
Do you have cheese sense?
I have cheese sense.
I sense something, a presence I've not felt since...
Nice.
You know. Yes. And then the Prime Minister says that what the country needs right now is a doctor.
And we go to credits.
Roll credits.
So we come back from credits, and the Master prepares to go to his very first cabinet meeting. I do kind of love the face that he does. I want to turn that... Like, I'm surprised that didn't take off as a meme. Like funny is like this, and he goes, and he goes, angry is like this.
Yeah.
Like that. I feel like that'd be a good template for like that Geordie meme where the pointing and the thing.
That used to be Drake till he got canceled.
Yeah.
But yes, and this is all taking place in 10 Downing Street, which is like the White House for all our American listeners, or 24 Sussex for all of our Canadian listeners. Did I look that up? Maybe.
Is that where the Palace of Canada is located in 2024?
That's where Daddy Trudeau lives.
Daddy Trudeau. Daddy Trudeau gonna hold you to his bosom.
Hey, Daddy Trudeau, can you please take us away from this country for a little bit?
Just cover me in maple syrup, Daddy Trudeau.
Don't do that to me. I don't like sticky, but you can cover Victor in maple syrup. That's fine.
Oh, don't make a joke. Don't make a joke. Okay. All right. So the Master, so he's here in his first cabinet meeting, and he's chastising all the politicians in the room for turncoating as soon as they saw the election swinging his way. They all changed sides.
Yes, they're all traitors.
Yeah, they're all traitors. But later in the episode, we find out that the Master was using his hypnosis waves on everyone.
Yeah.
And this is what they were supposed to do anyway. So it's basically, he's angry for them doing what he programmed them to do.
Because we find out later in the episode he is actually crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is, he's angry and he punishes all of them for doing what he programmed them to do in the first place. And I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of the basis for a lot of religions out there. So,
yeah,
it
it's
do
got
be that way.
It's got a cult leader sort of vibe.
So then he pulls a gas mask from underneath the table. As you do.
That's conveniently stowed, of course.
Now let me just say something. If I see someone put on a gas mask, I'm just gonna run. I'm not gonna
sit there and go, "Hey man, what's that?
What are you doing?
Why
are you putting on that gas mask for?
Like, no, I'm gonna get the fuck out of there, dude.
Oh shit! Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing? Go! Get the fuck out of here, you stupid idiot! Fuck, we're all dead! Get the fuck out!
No, I remember many years ago, I was DMing a game. I believe it was Mech Warrior. It was for those listeners who don't know, probably got a couple of Mech Warrior fans, but it was a tabletop RPG style set in the future with giant robots. But anyway, I remember I had set up a meeting with, I don't know if it was a governor or a mafia boss. Details don't matter. But the point is, I had all my player characters there in the room, and I said, and my villain, I told him, he says, "No, gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut this meeting short." And he pulls out a gas mask, and all my players immediately, as soon as I said gas mask, one of them was like, rolling initiative, I'm going to shoot him in the face. The other one's like, I dive out the window. Another one's like, I tackle him. Like, dude, it's like, right? you can't pull this on people.
Like, the only time that you would ever, like, not immediately run is if you wanted to be really petty and try to, like, rip that mask off his face before leaving so he dies too. Like at worst, everyone in the room is about to die or pass out. At best, you could possibly hope for is someone's has been eating Taco Bell all day and has been planning this moment, just to have a really foul prank for everyone in the room. Yes.
So after he gasses all the politicians in the room, Martha goes back to her apartment or her flat, as
Oh, wait, hold
say.
on.
Wait, what happened? What?
Before that, though, so before he goes into the meeting with the cabinet, right? There is a moment that I do want to call out because, like, Tish comes out. She's this woman who works at his office. Later, we figure out she is Martha's sister.
Okay, I was wondering why we were so concerned with Tish, because I'm like, who? She just seemed like an extra to me, but okay.
She is Martha's sister.
Okay.
And she's all like, "What do you want me to do?" Because we find out that she just got hired there, so she's pretty new. And he goes, "Oh, you just sit there and look pretty, sweetheart," or whatever. And he like caresses her face. And at this point, I would like to know, where is Downing Street's HR department?
Well, this episode did air in 2007, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, this sort of thing should not be acceptable.
Oh, yeah, that's why the president was a white guy.
Right. I do remember in later seasons they do actually have Obama, and that might be the next the 11th Doctor.
Honestly, Obama is such a geek. Like, he is such a lovable geek that, like, it is possible that they could have just, like, asked him and he would have been on if he wasn't, like, super busy. Like, that just feels on brand for him.
In Doctor Who, anyway, it wasn't in the episode I'm thinking of. They were just showing, like, stock footage of him, and then for the alien moments, they had a stand-in actor, and you could only see him from the back of his head.
Of course, yeah.
So then everyone bounces back to Martha's flat, and I got to say, the camera cuts in this scene right here. Maybe this was an early 2000s thing, but it kind of made me nauseous the way they were all just like, "Oh, we're having exposition. Let's put the camera in weird positions."
Yeah. That was like very much in that like very like choppy cut thing.
Yeah.
That's like, it was. They figured out that it's really cool in music videos, and then in like the early 2000s, and then by like 2007, by like the mid 2000s, they were just like, "Yeah, we got to put it in everything. It's too tight, bro. It's too tight." Like, and yeah, no,
I hate it. Makes me feel old because I'm all just like,
yeah, no, same.
Gives me motion sickness.
I could not watch Cowboys versus Aliens in the movie theater. I had to run to the bathroom and puke because it made me sick.
You know what? Maybe that explains it, because I've tried to watch that movie like 3 times and I just lose. I just can't. It doesn't hold my attention span. Huh.
That is also because it is a bad movie.
Good to know. So Jack uses his laptop, and they realize that.
I think it's Martha's laptop.
Not
to be a pedantic motherfucker, but
Martha's laptop, and
yes,
but not before he makes everyone some tea. He makes 3.
Well, of course, we're in the UK, Vic. You can't do shit without tea,
you
bro.
gotta have your tea first. I used to really love tea. It went through as a phase, but I just kind of got over it. Like,
Oh, I'm still in it, dude. I love me some Earl Grey.
Earl Grey, I do like Earl Grey.
Hot.
But if I drink Earl Grey, I'd be just like, well, this is just kind of half-assed coffee. I should just have coffee. You're like, nah.
Nah, you got to leave that bag in.
Oh, leave the bag in.
Time. You got to leave the bag in, and then it punches you in the face.
Oh, see, flavor. I pull the bag out. That's got to be it. I'm doing it wrong.
You got to not. Yeah, you got to leave that shit.
Leave that bag in
there. Tea bag the whole time.
Tea bag the whole time.
Like continual tea bagging at all times.
Well, speaking of continuous teabagging, Jack Harkness is I found out on this, not this podcast, but on this network, that the actor that plays Jack Harkness has been canceled.
He has been canceled for showing everyone his tea bags.
Yeah, Jafar and Ben didn't want to say on air what it was that he did to get himself canceled, so I just looked it up later. And I got to be honest, I was just like, oh, that's it. He just flashed his junk to the stage. But see, I forget. No. I forget that that's very inappropriate in the civilized world, because I come from a background where I spent 20 years in the military, where literally my first day at my new duty station, I was at Fort Eustis. I was a private, and I was putting away my gear, and this dude walks in the room and says, "Hey, I hear you new here, man. I just wanted to shake your hand and say, hey, welcome. If there's anything you need." And I didn't even realize that he was standing there with his testicles flopped out over his belt. And to this day, I'm not quite sure how he pulled that off.
Wouldn't
But
hurt?
he was
Like,
fully
why are they
clothed.
so dangly?
And I went to shake his hand. I looked down and I go, "Oh my god!" And there they are, just ping and pong, just flopping around in the wind, fully clothed. I don't know how he did this. That's just the type of shit that I got used to, and I forget that's not okay. You know?
Everything I learn about the military concerns me.
Jesus Christ! I'm so glad I'm retired. I'm out. Fuck you, Uncle Sam. Eat my ass.
Or your testicles.
And yeah, I'm done looking at your balls.
Yeah.
Never again. But that actor hasn't worked since 2021 on IMDb. It's like, wow.
Yeah, because no one wanted to see his dick. But I will say I have the Captain Jack Harkness cut out because a dear friend of mine, very long before John Barrowman got canceled, got that for me, and now it just has sentimental value because I love that person, and it's
That's
a good
very
memory,
sweet. Yeah,
basically.
and Jack Harkness, I feel like it's okay to separate the character from the actor because Jack Harkness is pretty cool.
He's pretty great.
Yeah,
Jack Harkness, not John Barrowman, but Jack Harkness is
I remember at conventions a lot of fans were just like grateful and that they had
that he didn't pull out his penis.
That too, yeah. Just an openly bisexual character that is just such a badass.
Yeah,
that is
too.
pretty awesome. That is
yeah.
I mean, at the time, so this was early 2007, so that would have been still a relatively new thing, just something different than the typical straight white dude hero that we get in every other piece of fiction ever. So,
and as somebody who had come out as bisexual at like 12 or 13 and had been told like, oh no, it's a phase, you'll grow out of it, it was like super validating to see a bisexual character just be unapologetically chaotic on TV.
Unapologetically chaotic, yes.
Like, I'm gonna flirt with you, and then I'm gonna make out with you, and then I'm gonna make out with you, and maybe we're all gonna make out at the same time. Like, it was kind of fun. It was nice to see.
I loved I think it was the final episode with the ninth Doctor, when they're about to go confront the evil villain, and they're all just like, we're probably not going to make it out of here alive. And then Jack reaches over to, what's her name? Rose Tyler.
Yeah.
And just plants a kiss right on her. And then he turns down the Doctor and says, Doctor, and does the same thing to the Doctor. That was pretty awesome.
And it was, and I was just like sitting there like, yes, that is exactly what I would do too. Like, hell yeah.
Oh, I love it. So then we get the incredibly obvious bomb that was placed in.
It looked like a cartoon, man.
It did.
Well,
it was like a Acme Bugs Bunny Acme bomb.
And my favorite part is how he's making this big speech about how like, oh yes, we've made contact with the orbs, right? Oh yeah. And also, I was super confused by the Prime Minister's wife because she acted like not a real person.
It's like they did a switcheroo. Like, at first they made it seem like she was, I mean, I guess she is kind of hypnotized by the Master.
Yeah.
But she's also in on it.
And
she's kind of on the fence is what I kind of got. Like, she's not fully committed to the villain lifestyle.
But she really wants the power. Like, it seems like she's like in it for the power.
But I think she doesn't realize, at this point, just how many people have to die in order for her to, how many war crimes have to be done for her to get to this feeling of power that she wants. I think she's just kind of along for the fun ride. Kind of like, I don't know, maybe, I know plenty of people who went out and they bought like a super sports car, and then they're all just like, oh my God, this thing gets like 2 miles to the gallon. Whoa, what have I done?
Yeah.
That was a crappy metaphor, but you get the idea. So. Yeah.
But, so also when we're at Martha's apartment, right, she's listening to her messages, and she starts listening to a message from, I'm assuming it's from her sister Tish, saying that she got a new job, and then she cuts it off and is like, I don't care, who cares? And I'm sitting here like, man, especially if the world's fucking ending, I want to hear about my friends' wins and triumphs and shit. I want that dopamine, give it. And then she's all like, so doctor, what's up? I don't know why she's talking like a frat boy, but she is. she's all like, so doctor, tell me about this master guy. And he's like, no, he's a Time Lord. That's like legit all you need to know. And then we cut to 10 Downing Street, and this rude-ass reporter shoves her way into the First Lady's room as Tish tries desperately to stop her. Mm-hmm. And the reporter implies she only has her job at the PM's office because she's pretty. And I'm beginning to think there's no HR department at 10 Downing Street. And then the reporter convinces Mrs. Saxon, so the Prime Minister's wife, to give her 20 minutes of her time for an interview.
Yeah, because they want to talk girl talk.
Yeah, and she's all like, because I want to hear about the powerful woman behind the man. And she's all like, yep, I'm all about that power. And then, like, she shoves Tish out the door with her jacket and everything. And she's just like, so you're in grave danger. And, like, the Prime Minister's wife's just like, what? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, he's a liar, and he didn't exist 18 months ago when he launched the Archangel Network. And she seems to be kind of coming around like, yeah, you right. That is right. Like,
man, and was then, Starlink a thing in 2007?
I've never heard of that, so I don't think so.
You never heard of Starlink?
Mm-mm.
It's one of Elon Musk's projects. It's
oh, for fuck's sake!
I know. It's a bunch of low orbiting. I know, it's a bunch of low orbiting satellite. Like, I'd heard about it before, and honestly, the only reason that I still even think about it these days is because one of my other podcast co-hosts, Tiger Mike, he lives in like a vagabond lifestyle. He lives in I don't know if it's a trailer or a motorhome. His home has wheels, so that's the only way he can podcast with me is via Starlink.
It's like it's that satellite internet thing, right?
Yeah, it's like a chain of satellites that slithers along the sky like a snake.
Yeah, that feels right for an Elon Musk vehicle.
I hope people can eventually vandalize satellites like they're doing to Cybertrucks all across the world.
There's just some dude in a space. No, like, see, that's the thing. We need to make the car from Fast and Furious 9 real.
Where Ludacris like shoots himself into space with the bubble suit.
Exactly. We need Ludacris and Tyrese to shoot themselves into space.
Save us from Elon Musk.
And write "fuck you" on the side of all the satellites. Just like So Mrs. Saxon, right, she's coming around. She's like, yeah, dude. Yeah, like I'm maybe brainwashed. And then like he shows up out of literally nowhere and she's like, never mind. I've made my choice. And then Mrs. Rook, who's the reporter, but not really, she's all like, oh, dude, I was just kidding, bro. And he's like, oh, okay, these are my orb friends. And then this like Jedi looking orb, like one of those training orbs comes out of like nowhere. And, it's stabby though.
It's stabby.
Like, it's a stabby Jedi orb.
The stabby Jedi orb.
Yeah. It comes out of nowhere. And he's all like, okay, I'm done with her. And then it starts to like kill her and she starts screaming. And then he and his wife run out of the room. And then like he keeps opening the door and hearing her screaming. And it's taking like forever to kill her. Like, what are they doing in there? And then she's all like, the wife is all like, I don't want to do this anymore. I thought Archangel was like totally foolproof. And he was like 98%. She's like, fuck you, man. I'm done with this. And he's like, oh, no, it will all be over. Everything will be over tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow at 8 a.m. is when the world ends. Well, 8:02, I guess, technically.
8:02, technically, but yes. And then we cut to Jack and Martha's kitchen talking about how the Prime Minister has the TARDIS. So he could have been in the 21st century for decades, crafting all of this. And the doctor's like, nah, because I fused the TARDIS, so he can only travel between here and 3 trillion years where they found the Master. And
I'm guessing that was in the previous episode. Like I remember,
because like they kind of flashed to it.
Yeah, I don't remember the zombies at all, but I vaguely remember them being at the end of the universe with a different actor playing the Master, and he's like an old man, and he has a vest, and he had like a Gorn girl as a roommate or an assistant. I vaguely remember that. I didn't watch this episode, but it's
Gorn
okay
but
because
cute. Yes.
Because our did you say Gorn but cute?
Gorn but cute.
I recently found out that's a whole subgenre of erotic literature. But anyway, that's
not really.
I mean, not necessarily Gorn, but you know what? I'll just talk about it some other time.
I mean, Rule 43.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, so then we get the bomb. The master goes on TV and is all just like every man, woman, child, every elevator operator, farmer, and medical student. And I'm guessing that's what. I'm not sure if I don't remember if Martha actually was a medical student or. Wait, I think she was because there was a hospital episode where a whole ass hospital gets transported to the moon or some shit, and she was in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hospital to the moon. But yeah, and like he says how like the spheres are Teflonicons.
Teflonicons. You know, that's what we're calling them now, the Teflonicons.
They're Teflonicons now. And like they want to give us their knowledge and their advanced technology, and all they need in exchange is friendship. Like if a Vulcan fucked a My Little Pony situation. And so that's right. That situation. And then he says the thing about the medical student, and then they turn around the TV, and then we get the old-timey cartoony bomb.
Like the doctor instantly knew that meant there's a bomb behind the TV. Like, dude, come on. Like, what that is the
like what?
The only way this makes sense to me is if he's pulled this gag before. I mean, they are like 900 years old, so the chances are this is one of his the master and his old tricks again. Like he did this.
The old Looney Tunes bomb behind the TV trick. Like but
so then Martha is like, shit, if he knows who I am, he probably knows who my family is. So she immediately calls her mum. And he's like, Mom, are you okay? And she starts acting kind of sus.
Yeah, her mom has definitely drunk the Flavor Aid.
Yeah, she's acting sus. She's like, me and your father are going to work things out. And this immediately sets off And Martha's just not getting it. You know, she's all just
Martha's like, why am I being reverse parent trapped right now? Like, what is happening?
Like, it made me think, like, I need to establish something like that with all my friends. Like, Beth, what's something... Like if I were to call you up, what's something that you could say to me to let me know that you're in a hostage kidnap? Like send help. Like what's something that you would never say?
I am craving a giant juicy steak.
What?
I'm a vegetarian. I was raised a vegetarian.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes. If I ever say something like that, like I'm craving, let's go to a Brazilian meat house.
Steakhouse and give me just plates of bacon.
I just want,
meat things.
Exactly. If I ever say that, like,
dude, okay, that's because my thing would be, hey, I'm coming over, order me a pizza with extra pineapple. And if I ever say that, you know that I've been replaced by a changeling or some shit. So.
That's easy to remember because my favorite pizza is black olive and pineapple.
Cool. Nobody's perfect, Beth. I love you for who you are. Okay.
You too. You too.
So then I love how Martha's dad is just like, fuck this, I'm going. He just like grabs the phone and Leroy Jenkins right out the front door.
And then the whole time he's in the street, he's like, everybody voted for sex and get fucked.
Dude, how history repeats itself because this
eat my asshole.
Exact same shit happened a couple months ago. Anyway,
truly, we are in the darkest of timelines.
Yeah. So then, I guess I don't know if this is her car or they just steal a car, but the doctor, Jack, and Martha are in a car now, driving over to Martha's parents' house, and then they get shot at by the federal. Well, I guess it wouldn't be federal. Royal British goons is what we have here.
Yeah, Royal British goons. RBGs.
RBGs. The RBGs. Start to shoot him up, and then the master somehow hacks the cell phone signal and starts telling Martha she's doomed. And
because Martha's trying to get a hold of her siblings. So
that's
she's also like, this must have been really jarring for the British because like they don't just like, I'm pretty sure police officers in Britain, at least when I was there, don't like fuck around with giant.
They don't have guns, right? Yeah.
especially not big boys like that. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember that because that was in the first season of Sherlock. That was a big thing when Watson went to go shoot someone. He had a gun, and it was like a big dramatic thing. And whoever I was watching it with at the time was all just like, "Oh yeah, that's because they don't have guns over there." So, I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm in Texas, man. I probably got 3 in the kitchen that I don't even know about, you know." So.
Yeah, they probably came with the house, honestly.
Yeah. But anyway,
this is your complimentary AR-15.
Scary how true that is. But anyway, so then the doctor gets on the phone, and the master is all just like, "Haha, finally I have you," and he pulls out his little early 2000s flip phone to talk to the doctor.
And the doctor goes, "Hello, master," and he goes, "Ooh, I love it when you call me by my name." And I was just sitting there like, they fucked, right? They have totally fucked each other.
In the next time, I'm 90% sure the next time the master regenerates, he turns into a she, and she's like, who does she look like? I want to say Michelle Pfeiffer, but not.
A hot lady.
She's very much a femme fatale. Discord listeners, I'm sure you're going to correct me on this. Who is it? Yeah, she. I hope I don't offend anyone with this term, but she still looks like a cougar in her next incarnation. But yeah, no. The master. My favorite master was the one from the 90s TV movie. Some famous American actor played him, but he was awesome. He just had big 90s Terminator vibes. Like he wore a big ass leather duster and some dark shades, and he had just big villain energy in that movie. We got to do that for like a movie break for one of our podcasts. It was a great movie. So.
I know it wasn't Keanu Reeves, but it'd be really funny if it was.
No,
Reeves.
It was some big bulky dude. God, what was his name? I don't remember. I'll look it up
Triple
later.
H.
That would be so awesome. I'm sure Jafar would go crazy for that. Something I noticed here, the doctor tells the master, he's like, "Oh, you're talking about the Toclafane. They're not real. They're a Time Lord fairy tale like the Bogeyman." Like you said, the Bogeyman.
That's right, because they call him the Bogeyman.
The Bogeyman
in the UK. Yeah, like.
Yeah, they run off, and yeah, because the master tells them to just run, doctor, run, because he puts their faces on like London's Most Wanted on every TV network, and they take off. And
but before that, we talk to the master, and while we're talking to the master, and obviously they fucked before, he's all like,
"You do make everything gay, don't you?"
Yeah, I do make everything gay, but also they have fucked before, and you can't tell me I'm wrong. But like, okay, so he goes, "What happened with how's Gallifrey been?" And the doctor, who's like, "So it's gone." And he's all like, "What about the Daleks?" And he's all like, "They're gone."
They're never
sort
gone.
of. And
yeah, the Daleks always, they're like the Borg of the Doctor Who universe. They always come back. Yeah.
They do. Mm-hmm. But they're like mostly gone. Their planet's gone, just like Gallifrey, and which is the Time Lord planet.
Did you just who-splain to the audience?
I did just who-splain to the audience, in case. I mean, you're all big nerds, but
yeah, we all know. Yeah.
We all have a different flavor,
right?
So basically the Time Lords resurrected the Master, or whatever, or created the Master because he's like a warrior, and they needed someone like him to fight the Time War. And
just like the Daleks, I'm fairly certain that the last time we saw the Master, the 8th Doctor killed him again, of course. But you know, it's like a comic book villain. The Master always comes back.
Of course, like Dracula.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we find out that the Master was there when the Daleks became scary powerful, and then he kind of ran away to the end of time and made himself human to hide from them because he's a giant pussy. And so then the Master asks if the Doctor felt like a god watching the mighty civilizations burn, like the sociopath he is.
He's totally gotten a boner in that scene. You can see him. He's
I know.
Like, what was it like to watch it burn?
And I was just like,
was it nice and slow?
That is literally your home planet, my guy. The fuck?
Yeah.
What's it like to see all of our friends and loved ones burn?
Not gonna lie, sometimes I just think about current events, and I think I wouldn't mind just going up into space and watching Earth burn. Just like fuck this planet.
Maybe. But all the animals.
You're right. I would take all the puppies with me, and the kitties, and a select group of humans. You included, Beth. I would make room for you on my station. You know, Jafar and
Thanks,
Ben,
man.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, especially you, Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah, especially you, Aaron. Thank you for editing what is mostly just tangents. But yeah, and so then the doctor's all like, we're the last two people, dude.
Yeah, the last two Time Lords in existence.
And the master's all like, you trying to flirt with me? Which again, I'm not making it gay. They're making it gay.
You're right.
I'm just pointing it out.
You're totally true.
But yeah, and then the doctor's like, look, we can go anywhere. We can start like a new planet, wherever you want. It doesn't matter, just not Earth. And the master's like, nah, too late, bro. So cute.
I think that's like an ongoing theme, because I feel like I've seen this before, where the master and the doctor are all just like, that's what the master wants. He wants to. Okay, you know what? I think about it. You're right. They are fucking, because he just wants the doctor to come with him, and it's like he doesn't want to destroy the world. He wants me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. They are.
I don't make everything gay. I'm just more perceptive.
Yeah. So they run away, and the master puts their faces all over the most wanted lists. Then we get a little montage of the news talking about the upcoming first contact with the aliens.
And the master reveals that the drumming has been inside his head.
Mm-hmm. The master watches Teletubbies, and he thinks it's
brilliant. The
brilliant.
master's really into Teletubbies. We also find out at this point that the master is tracking our Martha and the menfolk via CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
And the master also loves the Teletubbies like a sociopath. The Jedi Ball appears to ask the master about when the machine will be ready. We know 8:02 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the Jedi Ball seems a little panicked, like he's on some kind of timetable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need to run from the darkness, which I don't know why you'd run from the darkness. I Believe in a Thing Called Love is a great song. And the music video is delightfully unhinged. So
darkness calls, but I was on the phone. I tried to call darkness back, but I got darkness's answering machine. I said,
Batman,
people are literally phone, darkness.
Batman, people are literally coming in with poop in their pants.
So then So then our heroes are hiding out in an alleyway somewhere, and they send Martha to go on a fish and chips run, apparently.
Well, you gotta have your fish and chips.
I'm just like, could you guys stop being so British? Like, come on.
I mean, in their defense, a good fish and chip, lovely in a time of crisis.
I guess so. I mean, I guess if British folk were watching some American TV and like someone runs to go get some burgers, they'd be pointing and laughing at us. So yeah.
Don't worry, I took a lovely screenshot while I was watching this. We will talk about what the British think Americans eat. So. And then we find out that Jack's Torchwood team has been sent on a fake mission to the Himalayas by the Master to get them out of the way.
Mm-hmm. We get the little flashback of the Master's origin story. He says that this is a new piece of Time Lord lore, apparently.
I know,
in the Who universe, the Whoverse.
This is a big ass deal in this drop.
Yeah. They said that apparently every Time Lord at the age of 8, and of course I'm wondering, are we talking 8 Earth years? But whatever.
Yeah, right? 8
at the
dog years?
Yeah. Age 8, they're taken before, oh shit, I wrote it down.
The
Where was
schism.
It? The untempered schism.
Which is where also the name of my metal band.
Yeah, that is such a metal band.
We are untempered schism. And we are here to melt your faces.
Yeah, untempered schism. That's a rite of passage for every Time Lord. And he says that sometimes...
It's basically the abyss.
Yeah, it's basically the abyss, where every Time Lord's taken before it, and either they're inspired... or they go mad, or they run away. And I got to ask Beth, what do you think? What do you think? What's your pick? What do you think you would do if you saw the untempered schism? Which one of the three would you?
What was the first one?
You're inspired. They're either inspired, they go mad, or they run away. And the doctor said he ran away, and he's been running away ever since.
Fair enough. I think inspired might be the one I go with.
You think you'd be inspired? I think I would. I'd probably go mad. I'd go mad.
So I'm in a constant state of anxiety at all times.
Okay.
So when I'm actually presented with some chaos or some terrible do or die situation or whatever, I tend to just get really calm and go, okay, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, and it's my brain's we've planned for this, dude. We got this.
So it's like your Adderall is the schism then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just happen to have an untempered schism right here with me. Do you want to try it out?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, look into the void. Whoa! Are you feeling inspired?
Kinda. I want to poke at it.
I don't want to poke at it. Stop poking the schism, Beth. Don't poke the schism.
Gonna poke the schism. Just gonna poke at it.
Stop poking me!
Is that our episode title? Poking the schism?
Poking the schism.
Poke that schism. All right, so then we find out, this is where we discover that the Master has been manipulating the population through radio waves.
Yes.
And because I don't know if the Master has the power of hypnosis, if that's like a canonical thing in its history. Because this is the third or fourth or fifth. I don't know. There've been lots of Masters before this Master.
Yeah. And after, actually, if you haven't seen the newest ones, they're lovely. First of all, and the Master is played by Neil Patrick Harris.
No. That's not.
That's the toy guy.
The toy master, the toy maker.
The toy maker. My baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. There's a few different Who villains. There's the Master. There's Davros, the toy maker, and I think those are the big three. I think
those are the big.
I'm not a big Whovian. I know a few.
I feel like the Maestro is now a big one because they've just been introduced.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like we're gonna see them again.
Yeah, and of course we always have the Daleks and the Cybermen. They always come back. There was a really good Doctor Who special. I think it was in the early 2000s or maybe the late 90s. That was part of like a comedy gag thing where the Doctor was played by Mr. Bean.
Oh, Jesus.
And the Master was, I forget the actor's name, but he was the actor who played the High Sparrow in the Game of Thrones. He played the Master, and oh my God, he was fucking hilarious. I'm going to have to find this later. It was only like a 10-minute skit, but good Lord, it was so funny. I'll have to find it and link it in the...
Find it, definitely.
Yeah. It's definitely worth pausing whatever you're doing and taking 10 minutes out to watch the skit.
I will watch that.
It's hilarious. Okay, so then the Doctor whips up some magic keys. We're at an hour. We're at an hour here, so let's just blow through this last part.
Well, and so Jack Harkness informs the Doctor that he's resurrected the shady and somewhat murdery little organization known as Torchwood, but it's cool. It's cool now because Jack Harkness made it.
Yeah, I think Torchwood originally their original mission was to capture or kill the Doctor or something, but now they work with him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Torchwood was another one. I tried to get into it, but it couldn't hold my attention for whatever reason. But I remember really liking it. Like
it was pretty much Mark Me Down as Scared and Horny, the television show. So that's Torchwood.
It almost kind of felt like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type thing, except with But
I remember this. Yeah, there was this episode about cannibalism that stuck with me. Like it haunted me. Like
I remember because that was one of the few episodes that didn't have any science fiction elements.
Yeah,
that was the one. It was just about some fucked up people.
It was just about people being awful, and I think that's why it stuck with me.
Yeah,
it was just like that could happen.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, back on track. So the Doctor makes 3 magic keys. That perception filter hide them
camo keys, if you will.
Keys, yeah. Then the American president shows up and swoops in at the last minute and just takes over everything. which I think is generally how the British generally feel about Americans.
Which is fine because
because it's accurate. I think they kind of.
Yeah, but they took us over first, so.
Oh, we're over that. No, that's in the past.
They
we're
also
good.
took over most of the world first.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe it's
the British have
time
some.
we'll taste their own medicine.
Yeah, it's nice just to throw that out there because as much as Americans get shit on once in a while, it's nice to be able to have someone else to, anyway, yeah.
Yes. The part where the U.S. president says, since Britain elected an ass, the U.S. will be taking over this operation. Can the British take us back over?
I was exactly thinking that exact same thing.
We're cool with it. I know I just said some stuff, but like...
I said some stuff just now.
Other people in this country.
Save us, please.
Yeah. Other people in this country, not us, elected an ass. We voted for the lady. So, and then Martha and the menfolk are watching all of this, of course, hidden in plain sight. The master pretends not to see them. Also, I'm just going to point out, he is wearing a black coat with a red shiny lining.
He is?
Kind of like a magician's cape.
Oh.
Which I thought was very cute of the wardrobe department.
This was the master was wearing this?
Yes.
Oh, I told
when he was meeting with the president. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was.
Okay.
And then a paddy wagon pulls up with Martha's folks in the back, and they immediately get let into the back of the master's car while he points and mocks and laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Martha talk about a cute little murder of the master, and the doctor says that the master is his responsibility because he's a Time Lord.
But I'd just like to say that Jack's plan totally would have worked just fine if you just would have let him do it, because he's a fucking Time Lord. He'd just regenerate anyway, and that would give him enough time to, like, pull him aside and stop his evil plans. But no, Doctor, you got to be able to like, no, this is Time Lord business.
Yes, this is Time Lord business, and I want to save him.
Yes, because they're totally fucking. You're right.
Because they're fucking. But yeah, and so like at some point, the master sasses the president about grits, which are delicious. First of all,
whoa, you like? Okay, your Midwest is showing. I have never understood grits.
Oh, yes.
Breakfast or dinner or what?
Man, I haven't had them in years, but they had them in my breakfast hall at my school.
I know some people put gravy on them. Some people put like jelly or syrup on them, or butter or salt. I don't understand grits.
Cheese and hot sauce.
All right, Discord listeners, let us know what's your opinion on grits. How do you eat grits? I'm calling out all the grit eaters because make it make sense to me, guys. I don't understand it at all.
You've just opened Pandora's box, by the way. There's
Pandora's
a very
box of grits.
Serious, there is a serious fucking like debate over.
Maybe I should get into grits because like they're super cheap and nutritious. Are they or are they not? I don't know.
No, they're super cheap, and I think high enough in calories and carbs that like when you're like farming and stuff, and you're like,
it's like what is that? It's like French onion soup. It's like
like there's this thing in
that's
Cincinnati
super cheap that you could turn into.
It's farmer's food, basically, essentially.
Yeah, it's like barbacoa is. I fucking love it. But it was because it was a cheap part of the cow that poor people could eat, and they'd made it good. Okay.
Yeah, like chitlins. Yeah, where it was. Yeah, you made do with what you had, basically.
All right, so they teleport to the helicarrier. They find the TARDIS that's been gutted, and the helicarrier. I'm surprised. Like this predates the Avengers movie. This was 5 years before it, so they were. Doctor Who has the helicarrier, because that's like a thing now, in Marvel movies and such. I thought it was kind of
everything's in the air.
Yeah,
and you totally think that this is going to be in the sea. It's the Valiant aircraft carrier, and you think, okay, we're going to the ocean.
Boat. Yeah,
but no, we're in the sky. It's a sky boat.
But then again, maybe they did rip this off from Marvel, because I remember the original Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movies starring David Hasselhoff actually had
Sorry, hold on.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, Nick Fury was originally portrayed by David Hasselhoff in a Marvel movie before the MCU in the 90s that totally bombed. But they had a... Yeah, I know, right? Okay, did I just blow your mind, Beth?
I mean, I'm really glad they went with Samuel L. Jackson because he is like significantly better at acting and significantly less problematic than one David Hasselhoff. Like, Samuel L. Jackson is wholesome.
Yeah.
And David Hasselhoff is
well,
not.
when this Nick Fury movie he had the eye patch and everything, I believe this was before the video of him drunk on the floor eating a cheeseburger made its rounds. and whatnot. But anyway, though, there was a helicarrier in that movie. It was some really horrible CGI. Maybe it was not even CGI. It might have been a matte painting, but I'll drop it in the Discord for you guys.
But that's just Doctor Who. Like that's the vibe. You know.
Well, I like this helicarrier. It's got that PlayStation 2 graphics going on. It's pretty cool. I'll drop some, I'll drop some helicarrier visual porn for everyone in the Discord.
Anyway, so we're on board.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ship, so we're on the ship. The Doctor and Martha and Jack find that the TARDIS is aboard.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, fuck yeah.
They turned
and
it
then
into
they
a
get
paradox
inside.
machine.
Yeah, they get inside. They're like, fuck no, everything is red. And yeah, it's a paradox machine. And Martha's like, what is a paradox machine? And the Doctor's like, that's not a worry. If I touch anything, the universe is going to blow up. And she's like, what the fuck do we do? And the Doctor's like, oh, don't worry, I have a plan. Didn't I mention that? And anyway, my butthole would just be clenched in this man's presence at all times. Like, what do you mean there's no plan, sir? But yeah, and so then they sneak into the main like control room or whatever where everyone's at.
And the Master totally knows he's there.
Yeah, the Master totally knows he's there. But anyway, he's all like, "Ooh yeah, let the President of the United States take this." So the president starts his speech, and we pan to a lady with a baby, just kind of like, I guess, the people of the world were
everyone's watching.
Everyone's watching, including some Americans, and we know they're American because I paused it and I took a picture of it because we need to analyze this real quick because holy shit balls.
Was it the dude bros who were chilling with the backwards caps?
I didn't get the dude bros with the backwards caps, but I did get some American teenagers. I will send it. I'm sending it to you via Discord right now.
Let me see what's going on here.
Sending, and here we are.
Oh my God, that looks like holy shit, that is. Yeah.
We have in the front here, we've got the Bills, a dude wearing a Bills jersey, and somebody else wearing a Redskins jersey, which...
Oh my God. Yeah, this was before they changed their name.
Yes.
And Jesus, dude, this looks like you told AI to give us some American 90s teenagers.
Exactly, because there's a bucket of American fried chicken. There's pizza.
Oh my God, AFC, American fried chicken.
There's pizza, and then there's just one McDonald's cup.
What is this?
There's a cup of McDonald's, but no McDonald's.
Cup of McDonald's? There is a cup of McDonald's. What is this blow-up doll looking thing in the background here?
Oh yeah, the pinup girl next to the Elmo.
But this is.
You mean?
There's an Elmo there? Where's
the
Elmo?
Elmo. The Elmo's by the plant in the background.
Oh, I see Elmo. There's Elmo.
Pinup girl and then Elmo.
Yeah.
So wildly confusing.
Yeah.
Beer.
Okay, this was before 3D printing, so that was 100% a blow-up doll. That has to be. So.
Right. What the heck? But anyway, so that's what America is.
Yeah. I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I mean, we're currently in this state of bullshit for a reason.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so yeah, so then the
it is
Jedi...
also 7:58 a.m.
7:58 a.m. Yeah, who is awake watching this,
Not a bunch of Americans. Yeah. Okay, so Americans are drinking. Well, the time zone is 6 hours. So it'd be it'd be 1:58 in the morning in America, I believe.
Oh my God, yeah, it would be like super late at night for...
Yeah.
For our Amera bros.
So I guess that makes sense. Like if you've been drinking beer all night and you're like really drunk.
It really depends on what day this is supposed to be, I gotta say. So
like if you're drunk, order a shit ton of food. I don't know. Like, that makes sense. So the president starts his first contact day speech.
He's like, I'll be your master if you want me to. And the Tocklefan are like, no, you suck. And they laser ball him.
No, you're a sub. I want a brat.
Yes.
I want a verse. And then the master's like, I'm a verse. And the whole time, like, so Jack and Martha and the doctor are all kind of sitting there. And the doctor's like, hey, the plan is to put a camo necklace on this dude. And if I can't do it, you guys have to do it. And then the master is all like, well, I've been the verse all along. Hi, I'm the master. And you guys should shoot the president. And then they shoot the fucking president and all hell breaks loose. And then the doctor tries to put the camo necklace on Saxon, the master, and he gets caught, and the master's like, I've been able to see you guys the whole time. Fuck you, bitch.
And he kills Captain Jack. And
but Captain Jack's immortal.
He's going to come right back and he's going to kill him again.
Yeah.
And it occurs to me that Martha is the only mortal one in the group there. So it's like, she totally should have just hung back and like literally used the other two dudes as meat shields, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But Captain Jack is all like, hey, like realizes Martha's the only like breakable one basically. And is like, hey, you need to teleport out of here. You need to take my cute leather cuff and you need to get out of here. And she's all like, no, because she's noble. And that's why we love her. But it's also why we're constantly worried for her. And then the master reveals that he's been basically fucking with the doctor the entire season.
Yeah.
And he's got his hand.
He's got his hand that I think that the 10th Doctor lost in his very first episode as the 10th Doctor. That was a whole thing, I remember.
Like Luke's
he used he used the Lazarus Labs resurrecting machine to do some science stuff, and he uses his laser screwdriver.
Yes.
And makes
he
the
reverse
10th Doctor,
engineers it. Yeah.
He makes the 10th Doctor do a Bruce Campbell Army of Darkness shake on the screen where he ages him 100 years.
But let's be real. David Tennant at 100 years old is still gonna be a fine looking man. Like he is not gonna look like that at 100.
Well, you know, I gotta say, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think the makeup or costuming department did really good here. I mean, it looks almost real. Like if they just would have put like some foggy eye contact lenses on him, I would could even believe that that's really an old ass man. But
I believe it's an old ass man. I just wouldn't believe it's an old ass David Tennant. Like
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he shoots Jack's blah. And then Sky rips
right open.
Yeah.
And we get the best part of the entire episode, where he throws up his screwdriver in the air with it, pumps his fist, and he says, "Here come the drums."
And then it turns out the drums are a techno bop called Voodoo Child.
Yeah. I love this part. And I don't know what it is, just Lucy Saxon in the background there, just doing her little dance.
Doing a toe tap. Yeah.
It was just really cute. I don't know what it is, but I'll watch it. Watching it again yesterday, I just watched this part and oh my God, she is just. I just realized that Lucy here doing her little dance, she's barely moving. She's just kind of wiggling, and I realized, wow, that was their best take for this.
I mean,
but it was still really cute. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, she is a white British lady, so it's not like
some white British girl dancing.
Yeah, they have no spice.
No spice. All their spice went to the Spice Girls. So. Yes.
Sorry, the UK. Please still take us.
Sorry, but you know it's true. So.
But yeah, and so then the machine starts playing Voodoo Child, and 6 billion spheres rain from the sky.
And the correct usage of the term decimate here.
Yes.
Because literally, I hate it when people say, "Oh, I was decimated." I'm like, "Oh, 1/10 of you is missing." Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I know, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben, if you're listening, I know you appreciate the correct usage of the term decimate.
Ben is listening because he's very supportive. He is the internet's dad and also the podcast network's dad.
Hold us to your bosom, Daddy.
Do not hold me to your bosom. Keep your bosom to yourself, Ben.
Your bosom to yourself.
But yeah, and so he pulls a Thanos and orders the spheres to remove 1/10 of the Earth's population.
Yeah.
Martha, tears in her eyes because at this point her family is also in the room. And the doctor is being held by Lucy Saxon and the master and being forced to watch.
Yes, to watch this rain of metal balls coming down out of the sky.
Yeah.
And just puke all over the entire planet.
And Martha is kind of left with an impossible decision. And so she has to leave her family and her biological family and her found family.
Yeah.
And she has to teleport out, and she says, "I will be back." And that leads me to believe that, like, because what I would do in this situation, and, she is much smarter than I am. Like, she probably teleported back in time would be.
Oh, that would be the smart thing to do.
The move. Yeah.
Because it is a time vortex, whatever it is. A vortex manipulator, I believe, is what Captain Jack has. Yeah.
Comes with a hangover.
Yep. And that's our episode. It goes to the to be continued.
To be continued on Cool Girls Don't Look at Explosions.
So
you gotta tune in to find out who the hosts are gonna be.
So if I have to ask you, Beth, on a scale of 1 to, are we at 13 doctors now?
I think we're at 14.
Well, if you count David Tennant twice, it's 15.
15?
Yeah.
Aren't we still on?
We'll just say 14.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 14 Time Lord doctors, how do you rate this episode?
It's really good, and I was like very enthralled from the start to finish. But it reflects too closely our world that we're living in right now.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I watch sci-fi to escape reality. I don't like being reminded of the nightmare that we're actually living in.
So I think on a scale of 1 to 14, I'm going to give this Peter Capaldi, just because it's too real.
Yeah, I agree. I would give it a 10 out of 14. It's enjoyable. It's one of the more memorable Doctor Who episodes to me.
Yeah.
It's a little cartoony, ridiculous in some places, but that's part of the charm of Doctor Who, I think. So
it is, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we love it, because the show really tends to juxtapose cartoonish stuff with serious stuff, and then we end up with these incredibly emotional episodes.
Yeah. And the 10th, do you have a favorite Doctor? Like, out of all the Who's?
Sort of. It is a tie between 9 and 10, because that is really when I started, and Stephen Eccleston will always have a place in my heart.
Say Stephen? I thought it was Christopher Eccleston.
It's Christopher Eccleston, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I always do that, but I always do that.
That's cute.
So he will have a special place in my heart, because he was my first
his
Doctor.
style. That wicked leather jacket that he wore, and
man, he was just cool. He was very punk.
He had drip.
You know, he was like a fashionable punk, because he had like a kind of Vivienne Westwood thing going on. Like, I'm a professional, but also I rock a lot of leather, you know? But yeah. Who's yours?
I gotta say, it's gotta be Peter Capaldi. He's just... I didn't
That's
care
fair.
for the 11th Doctor too much. David Tennant was pretty amazing, I gotta say. He's just, like you said, he's a very beautiful man. But Capaldi just had this wit and just scathing sass.
He's a cranky old man.
Oh, and then when I found out that one episode where he went back to just hang out in the Dark Ages,
Yeah.
Just to give himself a vacation, and he rides into the gladiator arena on a tank playing an electric guitar. I found out that Peter Capaldi is actually a wizard on the guitar. He was actually playing the guitar in that scene. I'm like, oh, you're fucking cool as shit. I will never be that cool.
Actually in a punk band. Like, Peter Capaldi was an actual punk, for sure.
Dude, that guy's, he's cool as shit. So.
But the 11th Doctor, I did start out not liking him because he wasn't David Tennant. And I was a child, literally. But the episode where they show Van Gogh his works and
that was beautiful. Yeah.
I'm like, I could feel it. Like, I could feel getting like, I'm getting a little verklempt right now thinking about it.
That's an example of what you were talking about. How this show can be ridiculous hijinks, but also hit you with the feels.
Exactly.
That is the essence of Doctor Who. I gotta say,
it's
like hitting you with the feels, even with all the hijinks.
It is. Yeah. And speaking of feels, I just want to thank Jeremy Siegel for letting us use his song for the theme music. You can find him at jeremysiegel42.bandcamp.com and on Spotify under Nuclear Jaguar. And I would also like to thank the shit out of Angry Duck Time Machine for our podcast art. Aaron, you lovely, beautiful man. You lovely, patient, wonderful, beautiful man.
He has more patience than human is capable of. I think he's a Cylon.
So patient. So patient for wading through what I'm sure is mostly tangents. Thank you for editing this podcast. And thank you to you, listener, for bearing with us.
Hit us up on the What Happened Here Productions Discord.
Yes. Come share your opinions on grits.
And we will see you next time on You Are Who. You Are Who.
Who? Whoomst is this?
Whoomst is this?
Okay, bye.
See you next week, Internet.
Yeah, no. We are both they put the ADD gremlins together, and this will be pure chaos.
Yes, it will.